This meeting come to order.
Thank you.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella.
Here.
Commissioner Hightower.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Goss.
Here.
And Mayor Butler.
Yeah.
Now we'll have the pledge. There we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You got that organized finally. That Anthony, you had to help him.
Yeah, okay. Any addition or correction to the regular meeting minutes of November the 13th? If not, they will be approved. Any addition or correction of the minutes of the special meeting of November the 17th? If not, they will be approved. Okay. Do we have,
Mayor Butler, I'm Robert Wilson, and haven't spoken to you in years, but I'm glad to be here. If I could just talk to y'all just for a few moments. I took the liberty of...
come up to the...
I'll do that, but I took the liberty of having a letter that writes out, Mr. Hightower, if you could hand that to Ms. Ricks behind you, please.
Thank you.
I know that y'all can read faster than I can talk to you, and it's told I've got the retention may be bad, but I am one of the owners of Bulldog Systems, LLC. We are interested in operating the City of Marion Transfer Station. We are informed that the Republic contract to operate the transfer station expired several years ago. I just wanted to come before the council, indicate our interest, and point out just a couple of things. First of all, Bulldog Systems has operated the transfer station for the city of Metropolis for over 10 years and done so satisfactorily, and we would invite you all to contact the Metropolis City Council to see what the feedback is on that. We've got experience in doing it. We know how to do it right, and we know how to cooperate with the city to enhance the revenues to the city and to enhance the economic development prospects of the city. It's important for y'all to have a transfer station, not only from the standpoint of having a place where people can take their trash, but also from the standpoint of the economic development that comes along with having that readily available. Now, y'all done a marvelous job. You know, I'm from Harrisburg, used to be the mayor of Harrisburg, and we all pale in comparison to the economic development that Marion's accomplished over the years, so I'm not here to lecture you about economic development. You know plenty about that. The other thing I wanted to say is that Bulldog will commit to not operating another transfer station competitively within Williamson County. You know, we've got one in Massac County. We understand the logistics of hauling the trash. We would look forward to having one transfer station and one only in Williamson County. And we would be on the same team as the city of Marion is. That is, when we get revenue, y'all would get revenue. That's the way that it's supposed to be, a synergistic thing, so you share the revenues. So on behalf of Bulldog, I would respectfully request that the City Council designate one or more people, and we're pleased to talk to all of you if you'd like, to entertain proposals from Bulldog Systems to operate the Marion Transfer Station. We think we can do a good marriage and everybody live happily ever after. So if there's any question or comments, I'd be pleased to take the questions.
okay, we certainly appreciate your consideration.
What's the life of the landfill out there, Mr. Wilson?
The landfill at West End has got a 46-year life expectancy at this point. There are adjacent properties, and it's kind of like a coal mine, and you know, with your background, you know about incremental bonding and things like that. We could extend the life of the landfill by expanding to adjacent areas that are already owned by the company. So we're going to be here for a long time. When Bulldog Systems first got started, we started in Harrisburg and kind of stayed east of I-57 and minded our own business and built the company a little bit at a time. We're not a publicly traded company. You can find the people who own the place by looking in the phone book. If you can find a phone book, we don't have many phone books anymore, but if you find it, my number's in the book and my home address is in the book, and if you're dissatisfied with the service, you can come knock on my door and punch me in the nose or tell me what for. So we're local people. Our office is not in Arizona, and the people that you talk to, and I have 4 other people here that are from Bulldog, the people that you talk to live and work in this area. Our management lives and works in this area. We're a small business, and it's tough to be competitive sometimes with the big businesses, but we've been really successful at it, and our area of focus is now moving to the west. I'm not sure our competition likes that a whole lot, but it's something we've been able to do, and so far we've been quite successful at it. We know how to operate transfer stations. We've demonstrated that with over a 10-year track record, and we also understand the dynamics that if you're going to operate a transfer station, you don't operate 2 of them within the 30-mile area and compete against yourself unless you're trying to do something else to the other competition. So there's a lot of dynamics that militate in favor of you all having a transfer station that's a Marion transfer station that's dedicated to Marion, so Marion gets the revenue off of it, and the focus is on the synergistic behavior between Marion and the company that operates it.
Okay, we'll try to get someone to contact you and have a little conversation with you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have something we need to take up at this point?
Mr. Samuels, you have something you want to say? He does. He asked me earlier. He's going to sleep.
Well, maybe later time comes up on the agenda.
Okay. He said later when something comes up on the agenda. Earlier he said he wanted to talk to you.
Oh,
Gentleman in the
okay.
back row with the orange. Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, that being the case, Resolution 2017-19 for commitment of local funds for roadway improvements.
I make a motion we adopt that resolution 2017-19. That's for the CIVPO funds that will be made for the rounding of Carbon and West Main corner.
Do we have the money?
They're going to give us the money.
They're going to give us the money.
Yeah, we have to pay 20% of it.
Okay, simple obligated $63,000
Yep.
So
We
we're
have to
out,
come up
in
with
federal
20%.
funds.
so we're out, we got to come up with 12,
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
roughly 12.
You think you can come up with that?
Is that correct, Glenn?
In addition, they're not participating in the right-of-way costs or the engineering. They're only participating in the construction.
Yeah, I understand, but they'll help.
Yes,
That's
they're
50
80% of the construction cost.
That's about $50,000 that we net.
And,
So that's just give to you from SIMPO.
okay,
It's my motion to adopt that resolution.
It's your motion to adopt in Resolution 2017-19.
I'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Resolution 2017-20, authorizing payment to U.S. Bank Corp. for a lease agreement approved August 28, 2017.
If the council, Marion Council, Steve Hale had another meeting this evening. This is a lease agreement for the vehicles from the various departments that the council has already approved. This was just a formal agreement, so would authorize the city to pay the lease payments to the bank. And it would just need a signature in the council to authorize that.
Okay.
I'll make that motion there. I'll second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay,
I'm sorry, you said no?
yay.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
It'd be all right if you want it that way.
Mayor
Yay.
Butler.
Okay. You're up next, John, on TrueCraft Door Woodworks for $10,000 Goddard Chapel doors.
Yeah, this is the final payment on the rear door and the repair of the portico. We've already paid him $10,000. This is the final payment, and he's completed the work.
The
We have
work
the
has
money
been
and
done satisfactorily.
very well, it's a beautiful outfit. So I move that we adopt the payment of the $10,000 to
I'll
TrueCraft.
second that there.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, talking about purchase of a light board from BMI Supply for the Civic Center. There's Josh.
So 9 years ago, yesterday, we got a new light board at the Civic Center. It actually came up on my Facebook timeline. And so the expected life of a light board is anywhere from 10 to 12 years. And I was notified about a month ago of a donation that was about to come in. And they told me that the donation was for $13,000. That was coming from Paradise Alley Players, who has recently dissolved as a community theater group. But we, despite the fact that we are saddened by losing that community theater group, we very much welcome the $13,000 they're willing to give us. And a lighting board that I've had my eye on for not very long because it's relatively new, but about a year, costs just over $13,000. So money coming in unexpectedly from that donation would help us tremendously. The last time that we purchased a new light board was out of dire necessity when it died in the middle of a production. And that is not something that we look forward to happening again. So as we get towards the end of the life expectancy of our current light console, I'd like to purchase another one and then keep our old one as a backup just in case.
Okay. Sounds good.
If you would like me to go through the monotonous details of the light board that you wouldn't understand anyway, I'd be more than happy to, but.
Probably be esoteric to us, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I can say it's a cutting edge, it's all touchscreen interaction for computerized programming of lighting. The old days of a light board with a bunch of faders on it are going by the wayside. There are no faders that control individual lights on this console. It's all touchscreen interaction.
It'd be my motion to approve the purchase of the light board from BNI Supply for $13,833.28.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, where's Chris?
Good evening. We have got a little bit of a hub update, considering we had our membership, our Black Friday membership special. We had a tremendous response from the community, exceeding our goals, exceeding our expectations relative to this particular year. We had amazing success with welcoming 228 new memberships, comprised of of over 125 adult members and over 200 family members. Last year, during our Black Friday special, we attained 216, and we had set, various goals and expectations of maybe 150 to 175. And we reached 228 this year, so kind of a good indication that that there is a need for and a demand for that health and fitness and for what we can provide in the community. So we're very proud that we had that kind of response from the community. We had over 25 staff members that were on duty at that time, and a good majority of those being directed towards serving those individuals. We had drawings for some personal training sessions that would allow us to connect with our members. We had sign-ups for what we call active tracks orientations, youth orientations. So we're well on our way just a couple days later with serving those individuals. So that's the point we're at. We had a very busy day, but now the joy, really, the enjoyment of getting to connect with those members begins to allow them to reach their objectives for why they wanted to join, for their family memberships, for their individual wellness programs, health programs. So it was a great day, and we enter 2018 with that growing family of individuals and families with those health objectives. So we're really excited about that. On that day, we also highlighted some of our sponsors. We have three new sponsors, actually. Smoothie King, we've got HQ Salon, and also Stacked Supplements that we're partnering with. And we're providing a mutual benefit there, but we're providing our members, our hub members, with 10% discounts on services at those locations. HQ Salon came out, and they provided massages, some chair massages, and information about their services. So we visited as a hub team. The leadership team visited their beautiful salon, and we enjoyed that tour. And then they've come out, even that was actually the second time they've come visited us and had a table up to provide information about their services. So we're enjoying that new relationship with them. And so it's been a great finish to the calendar year, and really in a nice position with a lot of new members to get to know for 2018.
I get the impression you must be doing something right.
I believe we are. We've got an amazing team. That's and we're seeing those results. Yeah, thank you.
What is the total membership now?
I'll have to get you, it's over probably pretty close to 7,400. We've got we're in excess of 3,500 membership packages. So we'll have an accurate count after we look at where we are with, we get cancellations here and there. Can't serve all. Some people move away, that kind of thing. But we are, we're holding very strong in those numbers, and I can bring to you a report of some accurate numbers as we get into 2018.
There's a net gain every year, though.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is. There's a net gain over October. Was a net gain in terms of membership packages, and we're seeing that each year as well. So. October, normally, September, October, not real strong months, and we held very strong actually during those 2 months. So that was a good indication.
Does it pick up in January with New Year's resolutions?
Yep. Sure does. Yep.
They drop off in March, maybe. Well,
unfortunately, yeah. What our job now is to really to be able to serve and connect with those members. For those that we'll continue. We're gonna work with them to reach those objectives and want to stay with us. And some people do, that you can put membership on hold for a period of time, 4 months out of the year. So some people will have a seasonal, approach to their indoor recreation as well. So.
Yeah, looks to me like it's pretty good leap of faith this council took when we jumped into that venture.
Yeah.
Several years ago.
Yeah. Thank you for doing so. It's amazing for the community.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a brief update on that, where we are with that particular membership drive. We have some part-time hire recommendations today. They include Parker Barden for part-time lifeguard at $9.50 per hour. Stephen Thompson, part-time lifeguard at $9.50 per hour, and Hallie Reagan, part-time lifeguard at $9.50 per hour. So that's in aquatics, and we're seeing some people fortunately move on to careers and to we'll see that kind of move on and turn over there. So those are the 3 in aquatics. Then we have Mikey, it's pronounced Mikey, spelled M-I-K-I, Parks, for part-time cafe, part-time membership, that's front desk membership at $9 an hour in those positions, part-time child watch at $9 an hour, and part-time camp counselor at $9 an hour. Those are our part-time recommendations.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to appoint the aforementioned personnel at the listed salary and positions.
I'll second that.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella.
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
Okay, we have 2 job classification additions. They're existing job classifications, job codes, and that's Mackenzie Hamoya for part-time cafe. She's currently part-time front desk, so we're ensuring that and all staff up at the front are given those two positions, so we're ensuring all of them have that. The next one is Caitlin O'Neill for part-time child watch at $9 an hour and part-time camp counselor at $9 an hour. She's currently in membership in cafe.
What's your pleasure?
Be my motion to accept the above-mentioned personnel at the current, the mentioned rate of hourly rate of pay.
I'll second.
Second, call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella.
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Now we're talking about new position creation.
Yes, something that we try to limit because we have a lot of positions at the hub, there's no question. New position, this is an exciting new project, a new endeavor that we have looked to do since our opening, and that is the development of our swim team. Creation of our swim team. Jared King and his aquatics team has of coaches, of swim instructors, has developed a great deal of detail in developing a swim team for the Hub Recreation Center and for Marion, and there will be an unveiling of that in January. In fact, in December 9th, there's early sign up for that program for a swim team. This right here is actually, I do not have it in your packets, but that's one of the logos, and it is the Hub Marion Manta Rays. So we're very, very, very proud to roll that out.
The manta ray.
It's a fish.
Well, yeah, it's an amazing.
I know it's a sea creature, but what kind?
What kind?
Stingray or something.
Yeah,
It isn't
it's a
just
ray.
fish.
It's a ray. It's a ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ray, but what is a manta ray?
Yeah.
Got a big stinger on it. Get out of its way.
It's a very fast fish. That's a very fast sea creature, okay?
Support the manta ray.
And we're going to have some fast swimmers.
I mean, it might be something I don't like. I mean,
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it.
Now, let me ask you this, is in the summer, the Park District has
Yes.
the Marlins.
Yes. We are working cooperatively with them
Okay.
to have essentially a 9-month program. We will have some summer programs relative to swim team, but we will be working with the Marlins, with other local, particularly the Marlins, in order to build up their swimmers for their summer program. That's a real critical piece to it, that we do not want to be competition with the summer program. There's going to be people within our Learn to Swim program during the summer months, and the majority of swimmers are going to go to an outdoor summer league program, and that's what we're going to encourage. So we're working with them currently, we're working with other local swim programs as well for summer leagues in order to work cooperatively with them.
Well, all those kids were going to Carbondale to the rec center in the morning to swim
Yes.
anyway.
That's right.
Now we got our own pool.
That's right. And we do have, there is competition certainly with Saluki Swim. That's a fact of the matter. We would like to work cooperatively with all, but we can serve those that are in this area, in Marion and outlying areas, to be on this team. And we have conservatively set it at 50 swimmers. We'll exceed that in short order. So our budgeting is set at a level of 50 swimmers on the team.
Okay.
We're probably at about 40 pre-swim team launch in mid-40s.
And these would all be paid the $20 an hour?
Yes, these positions at the same level of the swim instructors, and some of these individuals are currently swim instructors, they would be all at the $20 an hour rate. That's correct. And they're coaching different levels. They're coaching, we're sending to meets, we're actually sending one coach at a time to represent the team as we get into actual travel for the meets.
Do you have an idea how much this is going to increase your expenses?
There will actually, in the first year, there will be certainly an increase in expenses, but we have worked with Treasurer's Office to look at minimizing the loss with our memberships that will actually attain for those that are swimming with us. There will not be a loss. There will be a first-year loss of about, I don't have the numbers in front of me, I'd have to look, but there will be a first-year loss, and then as we gain swimmers, as we get into the 60, 70 swimmer level, then there will not be a loss.
You got a figure, projected figure?
Yes, we do. Yeah. I have to obtain that for you. It's the expense. It's I'd have to. I don't want to give you a wrong number. I don't have it in front of me, sir.
Yeah, well, I prefer to know what I'm going to be spending.
Steve and I did work through the numbers with Chris and the hub staff.
Jared. Mm-hmm.
At Jared King from the Aquatics Union, and it was very reasonable.
Yeah, but I'd still like to have a figure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what might be reasonable to Goss might be unreasonable to me.
Probably would.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
So, well, how soon can we get that figure?
I can get that for you in actually in just a few moments at this meeting.
I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
If you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
One other,
I can do that before you approve these positions if you'd like, and I have no problem with that. I'll go to.
Next motion while he does that.
Yes.
I Googled that manta ray. He's 21 feet wide and weighs 3,600 pounds. So he's a big fish in the sea.
It's how many feet wide?
Up to 21 feet wide.
Good night. How long?
It doesn't say. 3,600 pounds, so he's a big one.
And I bet it's got a 20-foot tail. Boy. Goodness, that gives me some idea.
Okay, what we did was, we have two budgets basically in order to get through the fiscal year, the first 4 months of the fiscal year. And within that period of time, we have expenses in the first 4 months as we get January through April of $25,664. And then we have revenue of $26,490. Okay. Our first year expense for the first fiscal year is 61, pardon me, that does not include our memberships that we're including within that. So we basically have, in that first 4 months, we have a loss of $5,764, first 4 months. So because we have to account for what memberships we're taking in, and we're deducting that from it for a true number. On the 10-month expenditure, what we have is a first-year expense of $61,913, and we have an earning, a revenue of $73,035. That's based on 50 swimmers, so we very conservatively left it at 50 for the first year.
73 what?
So 73,035 for a net gain of $11,100. 122. So initially,
It's your projection that you will not run a deficit.
that's correct. That's correct. The first 4 months, because we are converting, we're basically transitioning from Learn to Swim program to Swim Team. There will be a slight deficit, but then after that, for the first year earnings, there will not.
Okay.
Well, with that being said, it'd be my motion to accept the above-mentioned personnel at the rate of $20 per hour.
These are current employees. Do you want me to go through these, or do you have, okay.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I thought we did this last council meeting.
No,
We didn't do Lease.
no.
Okay, we got a motion.
Yeah.
Is there-
She has got a couple other job classifications, so there was a council meeting, it wasn't last, but maybe a couple prior, where she had a job classification of
Added, okay.
added, but it was not swim coach.
All seconds. Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Thank you,
Okay,
Chris.
thank you.
Okay. Tell us, Gail, about the heat exchanger for the senior citizens.
Latina Poole, the Executive Director of Senior Citizens, had sent the mayor information that we had discussed, that they have a rooftop heating unit that was installed in 2007. So far this year, they have encountered $2,300 of expenses from Fowler, and there's an estimation and a recommendation that we might want to consider replacement. In looking at this and discussing with the mayor, we looked at a cost of $9,455 from Fowler to replace the unit, a 10-ton rooftop unit with a 20-year heat exchanger and 5 years on parts, and that's installed, in order to try to eliminate further maintenance costs in the next couple of years, because we have some problems that have incurred over the last several years. In discussion also with Steve Hale, this wasn't a budgeted item, but the mayor had proposed me request the Senior Citizens Council to fund part of this, which they do have, I believe, like $16,000 in reserve from their supplies and fund, that was unallocated. So we would like for the council to approve this cost to eliminate maybe the next future cost of repairs.
Is this the only proposal you got?
Yes, Fowler has been working on it for quite some time.
I know, you haven't, anybody else give you a bid on this?
We didn't seek another one.
Yeah, it's less than 10,000, so,
Yes.
you know, it didn't have to. But who is the bidder on this?
Fowler Heating and Air.
I'm assuming satisfactory work in the past.
Yes,
obviously.
yes. They have done maintenance on it, and we have several city buildings that have service
They've
agreements
done
with
work
them.
for the city before.
Yes,
I'll make,
And they continue to do that work.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they have helped us out at the hub.
Well, this is
Many
something that had to be done, so what's your pleasure?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
No.
and Mayor Butler.
Yes. Okay, Resolution 2017-21, proposed, approval of proposed third amendment to the Marion Heights 2 TIF District redevelopment project. Can you tell
This
us
is an addition to what we seek for this redevelopment agreement, is to amend the current resolution and have an inducement agreement, so the property owner, which is Marion Heights LLC, is looking at extending, adding some land to the current, their current TIF boundary. So it would increase their TIF boundary to to the south of Morgan Street, or the Hill Avenue, and would add some property that is currently blighted. The inducement agreement is so the Marion Heights LLC could begin their work while the next ordinance would be for the city to enter a professional agreement so that amendment could be established. So an inducement agreement just says the council has the intention to pass this with the idea that we will be working towards getting additional redevelopment agreement to amend that land. Amend the land and add it to that TIF Marion Heights 2.
So at this point, it doesn't cost the city anything to...
No, and there is a letter from, in your packet from, I believe from Doug Bradley about the request.
Yeah. Okay.
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 2017-21.
I'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, ordinance 3411. What's this about, Gail?
This is a professional service agreement between the city and Jacob and Klein and the Economic Development Group to establish and amend the Marion Heights 2 TIF district to increase the land. This would include a public hearing, the necessary paperwork, and determination that the land that the developers seek to add meets the TIF qualifications. So this is an administrative cost. They're reasonable. Their fees are the same as we have paid for other amendments, which is $15,000 in total. It's divided into certain increments as part of the project is completed.
This is the usual agreement that we have with Jacob Klein.
Yes, it is.
You know, to render administrative services and legal advice.
Be my motion to accept ordinance 3411.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
Mayor, I'd like to table number 9 and
Okay, that's
talk of that in executive session.
Okay, let's move to 11. Approval of regular council meeting dates for the year 2018. I think Alice has worked diligently to put that together. And usually it's the second and fourth Monday of each month, except when you run into holidays, such as Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. So, anybody have any suggestion or question?
I move we adopt the proposed meeting dates if we need to adopt it.
Okay. Second. Got a second? Call roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
I hope we don't have payroll that week. Monday and Tuesday is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Well, I think this is the one that we shifted one of the holidays
You can't next year.
around to Friday.
We're doing that this year, Friday and Monday. But next year, it is what it is. It's Monday, December 24th, and Christmas Day is,
right. Okay, that is this year, yes.
Yeah, we have done it this year. Holy moly.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have consideration of employment agreement of city administrator. I might say that most every city that has a city manager or a city administrator has a contract. We have never had one, but it seems it might be worthwhile at this point to seriously consider a contract for the current city administrator. We have to be aware of the practical possibilities. Right now, it looks like we're going to have 3 new city commissioners at the next election, none of which will have had any experience in the city government, probably. So that means we'll have one, I think, with experience. This means then that the mayor, whoever he might be, is going to need some help, I think, with the administration of the council and the commissioners. Now, I think there are several things to be considered here. One is the city administrator has a multitude of duties. Tonight, I think, gave us an example of some of the things that the city administrator must do. Gail comes to us with unparalleled qualifications. She served with a couple of the largest banks in the country for some time. She is a certified financial planner. And if you don't think that is something, you ought to try to take that exam. Plus, whatever, 7 or 8 years of experience. So she, it seems to me, would be entitled to have a little security. Now, I think that Angelo was talking about replacing people.
I've never mentioned that, replacing anyone.
Across the board.
I've never
and
once
there's been some...
Be careful what you say, because that's not what I've ever said.
Oh, okay, what have you said?
This is not an indictment on Gail. I just have a philosophy.
It's not an indictment, but what have you said?
Excuse me. This is not an indictment on her. I don't think her qualifications are in question. It's the principle of it. For example,
okay,
should President Trump have to use all of President Obama's administrators?
There is no comparison between the federal government and the city of Marion.
That's an apples-to-apples comparison.
No, absolutely not. You are misguided there, Angelo.
No, I respect.
Oh, my goodness gracious!
You know, and we shouldn't be talking about this in the open anyway.
Go ahead.
I mean, I thought it was personnel. Any other thing personnel, we go to executive session. Are we just going to just not do executive session anymore? Which we go there way too often anyway.
Hey, look, you're really going all over.
No, we go to executive session all the time.
This is something that has been on Facebook. It's been talked about.
Yeah. You know, I've spoken to her, and we've made our peace on that. It has nothing to do with her. It's nothing personal. It's a principle. Excuse me.
You've made peace? How was that?
You know, and regrettably, there were some inappropriate comments made, of which I deleted, you know, which, you know, I didn't have to, but, you know, and I plan on talking to at least one person about those comments.
Okay, so you deleted, then did you make a disclaimer statement about them?
Why is it that if I have a contrary opinion of yours, I mean, you have to go off the deep end? I mean,
I'm not going off the deep end.
This is how democracy works.
I'm just trying to...
You have an opinion and I have an opinion.
Sure, I know, but... I'm just going on what I have heard about your inclination.
So you don't think that the analogy I gave is similar to this concept of President Trump having to use...
There's no comparison between the federal government and the city of Marion. Surely you do not believe that.
Surely you see the logic in what I just said.
No, that is most illogical.
Absolutely not.
But beside that,
I mean, it has nothing to do with her. I'm well aware of her qualifications. I mean, I'm well aware. I mean, she's very qualified.
Good. Now,
I mean, it has nothing to do with her. It's the principle of it.
What is the principle?
Well, have you not been listening to me?
Tell me, what is the principle?
Well, I want me to repeat myself again?
Yeah, if you would. What is the principle?
Bottom line is, a person shouldn't be told who they're going to have around them. I mean, it's just that simple.
Oh,
If you're gonna have a vision, whether it's for a nation, whether it's for a company, whether it's for a city or a state, you should have the people around you that you
city, and see, you didn't say that.
And I've never said I would get rid of anybody.
No, but you said that you think that you ought to have the opportunity to appoint your own people.
You absolutely should.
Okay, that's the same thing. Now, what I'm trying to say is two things. One, I'm not sure you have a clue about her duties and what she does.
That's conjecture, but go on.
Well, I'm not at all clear on that. Number two, I don't think you'll be able to find anybody any more qualified than she is. And number three, she would be subject to enforcing the policies of the city council under your supervision. That's the way it works. Now, I think we have to be very careful. And I also understand that you have implied on Facebook, and you have told Channel 3 that I am guilty of nepotism.
See, there you go. I've never said that.
Oh,
never mentioned that, not one time.
You haven't?
Have not ever.
So then you're not saying that I am guilty of nepotism if I support Gail.
Are you related to Gail? How is that nepotism?
Okay.
Are you related to Gil?
Okay. Your disclaimer. Your disclaimer.
Are you related to Gil?
No.
So why would it be nepotism?
I don't know, but that's...
I've never said that.
Yeah, but you see, that's what the impression is, that you have said that.
Hey, whatever any impression anybody else has, that's on them. But I know what I said. I don't want you to misrepresent anything I said.
Now you're getting to where I've been. People are always saying that I've said something that I don't know anything about having said. So, you understand, nepotism, you say...
I've never... Can we get off nepotism? I never said that.
You've never mentioned
that. You're not related to her, so how could it be nepotism?
Either by implication on Facebook or to Channel 3.
Others have implied it. I have not implied it. And I plan on dealing with the people who made inappropriate comments on a personal basis.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
I can give you an example.
Don't you think this would be better served in executive session?
No, because these things have been
I can tell you what, for now on, we should just not ever go to executive session for anything else. You started a precedent, thank you. For now on, we're going to have everything out in the open, personnel, contracts, everything. Thank you.
Well, see, there you go.
This is a good precedent. I agree with that.
I believe in transparency, and what I'm trying to do is just to clear up some of the rumors that are circulating about you.
And me and her have spoken about this. We've talked in private. We didn't air all of this out in public.
Okay, all right. So
I thought that we were satisfied and came to an understanding.
Okay, if the two of you are happy, there's no reason why I'm not happy.
I think I can give you, correct me, because you said on that, doesn't the school board, Unit 2, have contracts with the superintendent beyond the life of their board? Now, that is understanding their board changes every 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say the turnover is much quicker than, that's the danger.
But, yeah, they do. There is an example there, and it's for one thing, it's stability of the board.
Well, it's kind of an apples and oranges comparison for the simple fact that it's just a 2-year turnover.
Yeah, I understand that, but there is a prime example of a superintendent that will be there. Well, what was the first one to Wade Hudgens? Wasn't it 5 years?
He was there 8 years, I thought.
Yeah, but I think their first contract they did, which they had never did before, the school board had never did before, but then they entered into a contract with him. And I think it's for 5 years, and I don't know what Dr. Oates is. But anyway, I mean, that we do have examples of personnel being in place.
Does Carbondale City Manager have a contract? Do you know?
What's a contract good for if you can fire them?
But
what is a contract good for if you've got the right to fire them? I'm just curious.
So you're saying it's a moot point to even have a contract if you can fire them at will?
If there's no penalty for firing them, or there's not a parachute or something, which I have not a chance to read this, but what's the point in having a contract if the new mayor comes in and says, I don't want you, and you fire
So
them?
you're saying this is a moot point? Is that what you're
Well, I'm
saying?
just asking, is it in there or
The
not?
mayor, whoever he is, couldn't do that if you've got a binding contract.
Well, binding for 5 years without cause, or what? See, I don't know. how it
Well,
works.
There was nothing in the packet. We had no information to
The
consider.
contract ought to provide, if for cause it is necessary to discharge the city administrator, so be it.
Well, that's how it is
You
now.
got to have an escape clause of some sort.
I mean, and that's how it is now. I mean, we wouldn't just arbitrarily get rid of her now without, and by the way, we should start having a conversation about annual reviews, performance evaluations, pay scale schedules. I mean, we just arbitrarily just make raises, pull something out of the thin air and just, oh, this person
Now,
gets
wait a minute, wait a minute. Now,
This person gets a
you know
15%
better. You know
raise.
better.
You know
than
that's
that.
true. We have no
Where have
scientific
you
data.
been when we
We
negotiated?
have no scientific data to support any raises. Who out there has got the performance evaluation? You know, we don't do any of those. We don't do annual reviews.
Look, if you know what you're doing, if you're acquainted with your personnel, you don't have to sit down and have an annual review of whether or not that person is doing the job.
But sir, wouldn't you agree that we should have some empirical data to support that in the form
Hey,
of
look, I've got
performance
empirical
evaluation?
data. I see the person, I see the work he does or doesn't do, and on that basis, I'm going to determine whether or not to continue or should get a raise.
I mean, the raises are so inequitable that it's just...
No, what do you mean inequitable?
There's some people who got 20+% raises, and others have got 3% raise. The police department gets pennies on the dollar. I mean, and they work their, you know what's off.
Yeah, and they're the highest paid people in the city already.
They're
Admit
not
that.
paid what they're worth. I know.
Well, nobody's paid what they're worth, but I don't know where you've been when we've been negotiating these things.
Trust me, those 8-hour Saturday mornings, I've been well-tuned.
Yeah, but I think it must have gone over your head because you talk as if you had no idea what
Let's
was
not go
going
there.
on.
I mean, let's keep it simple.
Another thing that worries me, is we have a lot of vital people. What are we gonna do with the contracts for them? For example, if our IT guy walks out, the city shuts down tomorrow. Do we give them a contract too? How do we do that?
I agree with you there. I mean,
We got several vital.
we have-
What about your treasurer's office?
I'm all in favor.
So do we
I'm
give them all
in favor.
contracts?
All salaried employees.
I don't-
You're going to go there.
I don't think that you limit it to one individual. Now, if we're going to consider contracts with our
vitals,
and I will say,
Everybody's vital to me, though. I mean,
and I will say this, yeah, but think about this. You're right. Everybody has importance, and everybody, to me, is doing their job. But we have 3 people that are critical, confidential employees of this city. The city administrator, the city treasurer, and also the IT in that too, because you let one of them walk, and we set this city back, well, I don't even know if we set it, but I'll say 5 years, but we may set it back more than that, but before we could get somebody in place, and what they have to do to, get that information and absorb that information. I mean, you
can't substitute experience.
You can't substitute it, and you can't substitute knowledge. And I look at Steve Hale, and I mean, you can ask that guy a question, and he don't have to go to his computer. He knows, he's constantly, doing things to assure us that we're number one, we're balanced, and that that we're not living beyond our means, and I just. If we're going to do considerations, I think
I'm all in favor of those 3 in particular. I think.
Yeah, but you got other here, and I'll say this. Since your post, and whether it was construed wrong or misconstrued, whatever you want to, analogy you want to put with it, you got a lot of people, shaking in their heels, Angelo, because they're afraid come May 1st, 2019, if you're elected, that they're gone.
No,
And
2018.
That's,
19,
19?
yeah.
that's
But
not the impression I wanted to give.
but
There's a lot of.
when you
That's
open
the
yourself up,
perception.
that's right.
the
It's all about
perception.
perception, and when you, and and you're right, and I will say this: he asked for civility on his post because it got way out of whack real quickly. It got off the subject area, and it got personal. And he did ask for civility, and
As well as deleted one of the more egregious.
yeah, but they didn't quit, and unfortunately, that's what happens in social media. But anyway, that's
I mean,
that's my position, that if we're going to consider one, we consider all. I believe there's three.
There's too many people that's as vital as an administrator. These other two are just as vital.
I mean, to
There may be another
Well
one.
taken.
Yes, I agree. I think that if we're going to consider.
We shut
the
down the
city
bar, they decide to leave,
or
but the
pre-
city's down.
Or presses the wrong button.
Well,
You don't
yeah,
have
he
to leave,
does
you
that
can
a
press the
lot.
wrong button.
He does that a
Yeah,
lot.
and
Well, don't tell him that.
Yeah.
It gives him.
He knows. He knows.
Power,
Yeah.
and he looks like he's power hungry.
yeah, and he, but, I mean,
I'd like to go back to the question again, what is a contract worth? So we sign one, and we give them 2 years through whatever time you guys want to do, and they don't do satisfactory work, and whose judgment says it's not or is satisfactory.
That's where performance
Okay?
evaluations.
So you
Well,
say
that's-
you're gone, you're
That
fired
is the
now.
provision you put in the contract.
Yeah,
Yes.
but how are you going to, did they get paid, golden parachute type stuff? They get paid the rest of their
guess that's
contract?
You don't worry about the parachute thing, you just worry about termination and how you go about that.
That's right, and are they paid when you terminate them, or do they get paid the rest of the contract? See, I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, you put that in the contract.
I'm not smart enough to do that, Mayor.
Well, I'll also do it for you then.
I appreciate that.
well, we gotta go over there, guy right over there that, he's absorbing all this, that, I think that we should, if anything is done contractually or taken from or added to a contract, it should be at his, verbiage.
I'm going to say this first. Since the agenda says consider, you're not going to be able to adopt anything tonight, even if you wanted to.
No,
because
we're
of the way-
considering.
Exactly. And I take directions from you guys, whatever you guys want, I can draw up. If you have questions, I'll be happy to address them.
Yeah, well, you can give us a draft, so we'll have the benefit of your knowledge and experience,
Sure, I'd be happy to do
and
that.
then we'll tear it up and do it right, but that's okay.
Okay, when do you want it by?
Tomorrow. No, I don't get,
At your convenience.
yeah, no, it's his good money.
Yeah.
Question, our police and fire chiefs now, are they under any kind of contract?
No,
They're just
those are political appointments by the mayor.
But here,
They're done by statute.
here again, I mean, two vital personnel of the city that, I think here, are they as confidential as the three I mentioned? No. Are they vital to the city? Absolutely. Where do you cut this off, or, and like I said,
Well,
there's a lot of
you
people
have
didn't
to-
construe this right, but, these guys are worried about the word appoint,
Yes, they are.
as opposed to the word hired.
That's right.
And maybe we need to have, and maybe this is in our employee manual, just something different, or by city ordinance, that we go about putting these people in place on different verbiage other than appointment. Now, we know that every May 1st, we're going to appoint or reappoint these people. But that worries them, because,
Now, who would have the right,
leave him out of it.
who would
be in there.
who would have the right to terminate him? The commissioner?
But here's the whole thing. Everybody is forgetting this.
Well, you were the commissioner that said, I want to get rid of him.
Everybody is forgetting this point here, that he may recommend these people for appointment, but it's on then it goes to the advice and consent of this council.
Yeah, we have to prove it.
So, that's right. So, this council makes the final decision.
Both in hiring and
firing.
Yeah.
So, except for certain employees, like we had an employee at the hub that, it was an arbitrary decision made without the.
Yeah, but it depends, it depends on the circumstances.
And that won't happen anymore. This council hires, this council fires.
That's exactly right. That's exactly how it should be.
Well, see, there are certain things that you have zero tolerance for. To do nowadays about sexual harassment. Zero tolerance. That isn't anything to be debated. If a person is guilty of that, gone.
And we do have a policy, by the way. I know you guys saw a newscast.
We've got an ordinance on that. Right.
He was off that day, and
But in short, everybody's vital, but I don't think anybody is so vital that they're indispensable. You guys mentioned a couple of people. They're highly trained, they're highly competent, but if they left, the sky wouldn't fall. I don't think anybody should be given that impression. Nobody's indispensable, including myself, the mayor, everybody up here.
We're not talking about it falling, but I'm telling you, we could have some cloudy, we could have some cloudy days for quite some time if certain individuals left us. And I don't want this city to ever go back to the day of the suitcase parade of the old days. Where if we change politics, and of course we have nonpartisan elections, so to speak, but if you're not of the right political party.
I'll give you an example. The first time I was elected, every city superintendent opposed me. They were in favor of my opponent. When I was elected, here came my friend politicians. They wanted me to fire every one of these people. And it so happens they were all Democrats. Of course, I was a Republican. My friends were Republicans. They say, what do you mean you're going to keep the Democrats there who fought you in the election? I said, I've got to keep them because they know how to run their departments and nobody else does. I kept those people and they did a tremendous job. In fact, they helped get Marion started on the path to bring it to where it is today. Now, of course, it was typical. Every 4 years, they'd fire the chief of police, the fire chief, the various superintendents, turnover. And the city paid the price. So you got two things here you got to consider. One, and we haven't really talked about it, what about the concern of the individual? People put in a lot of years of service to the city. We get a new official who comes in, well, you've been doing a good job, but I have somebody that I'd like to have in your position, so goodbye. That is not right, because you're not recognizing the value of the person who has been there and the contribution that person has made.
Well, that's exactly the point I made, Mayor, that, just because, whoever the next mayor is decides I'm going to go this way or that way, or I'm going to keep them all, or what, these four individuals up here,
they've got the final say.
Here's one point on that too, Anthony. Like you said, there'll be a big turnover. And it might be that the mayor and his crew would all be inclined to think the same way, which means we clean house.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say the commissioner won't be of that opinion. I don't think it will be.
I can't see that happening, and I can just say I pray and hope that that doesn't happen.
I hope it doesn't either. The city worked pretty well for a long time without the...
That would be so disruptive to the people of Marion. I just can't either.
It'd be irresponsible to.
Well, you know, people
change.
have come to work for the city for a variety of reasons. One, because usually it's a pretty good job. Two, they have a feeling of security, because we have established a track record. If you do the job, your job is safe. If you screw up, you're out. Very simple. And that's why, if you'll check the records, we have so many people who have put in so many years of service. It's been continuity that has helped make Marion run as smoothly as it has. And I hate to think it would revert back to the days before I was mayor.
Can you indulge me in one more story? I just want to put it out there. I mean, if those of you who don't know me, I always do the right thing. And I'll give you a quick anecdote. When I was running for the school board, there was a group of people. That on this Creel Springs side wanted the school to be built, and they thought that a new school board would come in and, you know, just disregard what they wanted. And so they lobbied very heavily against me and 3 other people. And sure enough, it was a clean slate. We won. And I became the biggest advocate for those people at Creel Springs, and they became big advocates for me. So I didn't come on and say, you know what, I'm going to get, you know, revenge because you guys lobbied so hard against me. And I worked hard with them, met with them individually, went and talked to all the people who were against me, and I did the right thing, and I'll always do the right thing. And so. What was the laughter for, by the way?
Well, I think we've considered the proposition enough. I think we want to have Steve draft.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, I have some opinions. If we're going to move forward with this, that we include others. I think that in doing this, then. We need to think about our other superintendents. How do we put them at ease, to a degree, but at the same time, we can sit here and say, I can sit here and say, if I'm elected mayor, nobody's going. And that, is...
Yeah, that is a gratuitous statement.
It's not on my part. If I'm elected mayor, I have not making any changes in personnel of what we got right now at the supervisory level. Now, in saying that, I don't know what my next council is going to do if elected. That's the scary part. We can sit up here and be in total agreement.
Yes.
Of what we think is going to happen in Marion, but folks, here's the bottom line. In 16 short months, or 17, whatever it is, we're going to have something happen in Marion that hasn't happened in 50 years.
55.
55. Who's counting? We're going to have a new mayor. Yeah, we're going to have a new mayor and at least 3 new council people. Well, I mean, I don't know what, I shouldn't say that.
Jim running for re-election.
Yeah, I don't know what, I'm sorry, Johnny, I don't know what your intent is.
If I'm not dead and my health is good, I probably would give it another shot.
Okay.
Nobody will elect me, but I'm running.
So half your council, yeah.
I'll be a happy camper.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but anyway, and, that's just the way it is. And then, is Marion gonna, we're gonna close for business? Absolutely not.
No, things will go on, but
regardless who's here.
Things will go on and get better.
Right. But we got to get peace of mind to more than just one person.
Yeah, are we only going to protect superintendents? What about people like Hillary or,
well, you can't go forever.
Oh, well, no, there's a limit to beyond.
They deserve job security too. No. I mean, it should be just limited to superintendents.
No. Well, I mean, her job security is, she's doing a great job. I mean, that's, and here it gets back.
Why not give her a contract?
Yeah, here it gets back to, well, she's got one. She got one.
Yeah.
I think of Alice. I mean, she's right-hand person.
Oh, yeah, city clerk, if they walk out there in trouble. There's a lot of people run this city, guys, except one person.
Right.
I know the mayor thinks he runs it all, but he really has help.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else thinks so, why shouldn't I?
Yeah, I've been here 8 years, and I've never heard him make the first motion or second. I mean, he votes, his vote is actually symbolic, but
you know where I am.
that's right. I think the people deserve to know what your position is, you know, and of course, if you don't agree with the rest of us, you do let us know, and that's fine. This is America. You know, that's what
Freedom of
makes this,
speech.
that's what makes this country great.
Well,
We have
okay.
We seldom say what you think, though, Robert, it's a problem.
Yeah, I think this is something we'll have to give some more thought to. I like the idea of the three critical positions.
Well, we got the city clerk is in there also, guys. They do a lot of work, boys.
Oh, well, yeah.
There's a lot of people that we got to consider, not just one or two.
But, and I'm not
Pretty soon
disclaiming that.
You're going to have a contract for everybody in town if we're not careful.
Well, I think you need to,
The thing about it, you've got to have a limit. You've got to have a cutoff.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think she should, that position there, I say she, it could be he, but I think that position there needs to go with our other supervisory personnel. What I was talking about is our critical, confidential employees.
Not that the others aren't critical.
Not that they're not, but
sensitive.
they have knowledge that others don't. And that is, you know, and that's, you know.
Well, what you're saying, the mayor.
Look what we did,
The mayor really can't get rid of anybody, though, no matter who the new mayor is. It
Right.
That's
takes the
right.
whole council, so to me, the security in it is going to be in the council.
the council, that's right.
Without the contract? So you're-
Yeah,
As
Without a
long as people's
contract.
doing the best job they can, I don't.
That's
think
right.
But it's unfair to people to just say, hey, you're doing a good job without having the empirical data to support that. We ought to think about
Yeah.
performance evaluations, annual
Yeah,
reviews, et
well, see,
cetera.
once again,
People would
if
deserve
you
to know.
know,
what they're doing.
if you know your people and you know what they're doing, you don't have to have a big review or anything of that sort. You know whether or not they're doing the job. If they're doing it, fine. If they're not, get rid of them. The thing that I have fought against ever since I've been mayor is that very thing of getting layers of responsibility. I don't want us to be like Carbondale. Before you do anything over there, you got to have a meeting, you have to have a commission, you got to have a committee, you got to have a review, and that is something we want to stay away from here.
You talk about empirical data, Angelo. How do you arrive at the empirical data? Who's going to give you that?
Well, you use standards. You know, you have a rubric of certain performance, standards, and if they meet those, I mean, it's just a standard performance review where you have certain
Who's going to
stipulations.
judge it?
I'm sorry?
Who's going to judge their performance?
Well, in the council's case, like we'll do the administrators, for example, the superintendents will be done by the respective commissioner.
Well, I
over
understand
their
that, but let's see
Pretty
who's
simple.
going to review, well, like Gail's, I mean, she does things that might write in Chinese or Greek, because I don't understand half she does. So I'd have trouble
Well, it's
judging
like,
her.
it's like the school board does the superintendents. I mean, they're not in their, his or her shoes, but they manage.
That's all right, I'm
the
just curious
evaluation
how you meant, what you meant by empirical
Right.
data.
All right, did I answer it satisfactory, or you want me to say it again?
Yeah, it's okay.
no, yeah, I think so.
Well, okay, for a point of beginning of discussion, we can have Steve draft a proposed contract that would cover the three. We can take that as a start and then go from there. And you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying we should have a discussion. You're telling me to run for three contracts before we've even had any discussion.
No, we're not.
No,
gonna sign a contract. We're just-
you
we're
missed the
discussing now.
point. Yeah, we've got to have a starting point, and this is what I'm suggesting as a start.
It's discussion.
Yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. We're considering, we're discussing. And this is what I'm proposing. You got to start somewhere, and that's what I am proposing for a start.
It's your discussion.
Okay, what's so difficult about that?
What about the people that vote at the
Who, do they get to have a discussion at the meeting?
You can do it right now.
Hey, wait a minute. We are elected, city council is elected to make decisions. They should not have to submit every issue to a referendum of the people. Well, in essence, that's what you're suggesting, and that's not going to happen. If people have an opinion and they want to voice it, fine, they can do that. They can do it now. They do it now. But still, it's a decision of the council. So, do we have a consensus that we'll let Steve go ahead and draft something and then look at it and see where we're going?
Consensus, but. Yeah, and at that point in time, I think that, the council needs to make any additions or subtractions.
Sure. It's only a draft. He gives it to us and we criticize it, probably tear it up, throw it away and forget it.
We did that before.
Yeah, that's happened before. Yeah. Not with Steve, but
no.
Okay, I think that's where we are then. All right.
Good dial.
Wait.
Okay,
Wait a minute, somebody wants to say some more.
Oh, yeah, sure. Come on, up here.
You've been in a very unique position.
Speak into the microphone.
You've had a very unique position for many years, and Marion has been a very fortunate and unique community to be able to advance the way they have. Even though people might think I'm new to the community, I've been here 16 years, but I was born and raised here. Had to go away to find work since it wasn't available down here back in the mid-50s. But the way I feel that either more supervision things should be protected and not just say 3. I think it should be discussed further how many you want to protect, but it's a unique opportunity for anyone that gets elected into a new city council position should be able to state who they're going to have too. I don't talk about favoritism or this or that, but you've grown into the job over a good many years. Everyone here has grown into the job and still growing, and it has to be a long time term opportunity that where you consider so many things, and the experiences that you've had and your background just builds you to where you are today. You're what you are as an individual is a product of what your environment was and the people you were around and everything that builds you into the position you are. And I think that whoever might be elected the mayor, it seems like there's a little bit of assumption that who's going to be elected and who's going to be running already, but I'm not aware who else might be opposing this person or that person, and I don't really care. We'll just wait and judge the characters of individuals when it's time for election. But I think the new city council should have a little bit of leeway too in this once they're formed. It just seems the right thing to do instead of completely stifling them completely. I'm not in a debate with you, I'm just stating my opinions.
And that's a good opinion, but you see, you have to maintain a balance. You've got to give some consideration to the loyal city employee
I'm very well,
wait a minute, who's been there, performed admirably for 20 years, has had expectation of continuing until retirement.
Yeah.
Now, what about the consideration of that person as to the other side, allowing new city council?
I'm not suggesting that you just arbitrarily change everyone.
But
you might well know I've got 4 relatives that have been employees of the city.
Well, see, we are inclined to forget the service of the individual.
I'm not trying to forget anyone's service.
Well, I'm not talking about you individually. I'm just saying generally.
Okay.
That's the way it was 50 years ago.
Yep. I've been around a few days.
The individual, anybody who went to work for the city knew that the expectancy on the job was limited. There were very few people who expected to make a career out of city employment. And one reason was every 4 years you had a new administration.
Yeah. My brother was elected to city council over at Carterville. Frank Samuel was my cousin. He was then there for mayor for 22 years. Leo Richmond's brother, Bruce Richmond, over at Murfreesboro, was served mayor 2 terms in Murfreesboro. He's my cousin, and he's passed now, and he was 22 years in the State House of Representatives. And I've had a family that's known a little bit about government. Like I say, I've had 4, there's 3 police officers that's been here.
Politics must be in your genes.
Well, I've just been a long way from here, and I would get involved when I lived north. But this is one thing that kind of really concerned me when I saw it on the news tonight. I knew it was coming up prior to that, but I'm not on Facebook and I don't have a cell phone. I just try to mind my own business and conduct my life in an orderly manner.
You see, that's one of the policies of the city council. Anyone who has something they want to address to the council are free to do so.
Yeah, well, I really feel this needs a lot of consideration because it's not just the one individual involved, and it's going to carry on for years. Now, what are we going to do? When you're gone? Everybody's going to be gone sometime. And we'd like to have a legacy. You've got a long legacy that's very admirable, but we can't expect everyone that follows us to do things exactly the way we would have. We can hope they do the best and do improve things.
Sure. When I became mayor, I expect there will be changes when I'm no longer mayor. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. People get voted in, voted out. Throw the bums out, what Harry Truman said.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Okay, I think we've probably beat that.
Sir, you didn't state your name.
John M. Samuel.
You live on Oak Creole Road?
Sure do.
You don't live in Mike Fortune's old house.
Well, it was really Lydia Sanders, but he moved in.
Yeah. I'm your neighbor.
Oh,
you don't have to praise him for that.
No, don't hold that against him.
If you go all the way across that bean field to the east, you'll run right into my house. We're neighbors.
that's only a mile and a quarter.
Yeah.
I'm your neighbor to the other side.
Yeah, I'm the neighbor to the other side. Yeah, I see you out there all the time. He lives in the big brick 2-story house.
Yeah. Jack Hill for a while.
Jack Hill lived there. That's right. Yeah, that's who I was.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've gone far enough on that. Let's get back to rudder.
My turn?
Yeah.
That 1-9, item 9, is that one?
No, I tabled that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going to executive session on that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this stuff out of the way.
There's no
He
use
was asking
discussing.
about it.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
Make a motion to pay the monthly bills as funds become available.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Bonella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
Make a motion to pay the consent agenda.
Now, wait a minute. I want to look at that a little bit. Where was it? Something with the police department.
Oh, Novacom.
Yeah.
In Novacom.
What was that?
It's under Novacom right here.
That's
That's a,
Yeah. We running up a bunch of money here. What's that all about?
Actually, those are things that the city approved,
We've already
the council
approved
approved some months back.
Yeah.
But these invoices just filtered through this past week, and the treasurer's office brought this over and said, just to bring the attention to these 3 invoices for Novacom. The police department's had the equipment, and I think it's installed and right. Is that correct, Pete?
Are they working right too, or?
Is it the radios?
They're
The
working
radios.
good?
Yeah,
And-
it's been installed months.
So the treasurer's office just asked that we put this on the consent agenda to let you see that these,
Are these the pack radios?
Yeah. And in the cars, yes.
They work inside like the hospital and Walmart now, anybody know?
Much improved. Pete can.
He's shy, as you all know.
They work all the way to Mobile.
No. Oh, wow.
wow.
It's a good
Did you hear
investment.
that, Mayor?
did you make that motion?
Pete said these new radios work all the way to Murfreesboro.
Well,
Well, that's good. That way, if Murfreesboro needs help, they can call us.
City limits don't count.
encrypted and our other agencies can't hear it.
Well, okay.
was told that we would be able to do is interoperability with our other agencies.
They've already been approved.
I made the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. You know, when they're spending $40,000, I want to know a little bit
Well,
about
talk to
it.
the commissioner. He's the one that's spending your money. You get on him, you always get on me about it.
Okay, you got anything else, Anthony?
Want to go to executive session.
Okay, Angelo.
Just a question. I have some people asking me about the policy at the city lake. I mean, what's the policy? It's like seemed to be,
Oh, there's the water commissioner.
as far as the use of it, it seemed to be kind of an inequitable situation going on.
Well, right now we have waterfowl season going on, and we got a sign there that prohibits watercraft on it. And the reason that sign was put up there, that you can't have watercraft within, I think it may be 200, but I think it's 300 yards of a duck blind. It's merely for safety purposes. And if you go to our lake and you put in there at the ramp, and somebody across the lake is shooting at ducks, those pellets will come clear across that lake. So, you know, it's merely a safety issue, and it's Thanksgiving Day to January 31st. The activity on that lake is very minimal anytime. Now, if there's nobody out there duck hunting, get after it.
Are individuals allowed to like rent certain parts? Like, I mean, I don't know what the dynamics are down there, but apparently there's people who say that.
We got 16 duck blinds, and those are occupied by individuals. When a duck blind becomes open because somebody didn't meet the requirements of that particular hunting season, then we have a lottery in September, and that goes to a Marion resident.
Okay, so it's not just a pick and choose, hey,
No.
here you can
Well,
have.
it was.
Some of those duck blinds are in a state of disrepair. In fact, it is a mess, and we've got to be tightening up on that.
I don't know, well, I've seen those pictures too. This particular individual's in a kayak, so he can get places boats can't. And he's getting back in necks that
Well, it doesn't matter. It is not right for a person to trash up a duck blind and the water in front of it, and that's what those pictures indicate.
He's showing old duck blinds. I don't know how long they've been there, down at the south end.
But aren't they assigned to somebody?
No, they haven't been hunted in, well, I'm telling how many years. I don't know how only thing I know to do is
it's up to the city to go clear that out and then set up a new policy and to make sure that it is enforced, because even though nobody sees it, we know that it is a travesty.
I understand that, and we've had and we'll have it again this year. We'll have Boy Scouts come down and clean the shoreline. Those guys have been told that if they do not clean up their areas around their blinds, then they are subject to losing that blind for next season or forever.
Or forever, because there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, no.
What about the old ones that nobody claims? Why ain't they? Who's going to clean them?
Well, then that's the city's responsibility.
I guess it's our,
we're hung.
We're hung there.
Well, somebody's got to clean it.
It's got to be the city.
I don't know how you gonna get there.
If we don't know who's responsible,
Well, the fire
then it's our
department's got boats
responsibility.
that they can get back in there with. They can do that, I think.
Well, that's the problem. One got burnt, and that's his issue with one. It got burnt, and the debris laying there on the shore. But anyway, it's going to take an extensive cleanup to get that done. But it can be done.
We'll enlist the help of the Marion Navy.
Yeah.
This guy?
Or the manta rays.
Marion Navy.
So anyway, that's on the spring schedule to get boats down there and
Okay, good.
chainsaws and Boy Scouts and clean that up.
Did you have anything else
Yeah,
in your
and
vote?
Johnny probably will agree with this. So we voted on a motion earlier tonight about Fowler doing a job down at the Senior Citizen Center. I mean, it was a one bid, and I agree with your philosophy on that. We probably moving forward, we need to, even if it's below the threshold that's required for a bid, we need to consider having, put a bid out for even smaller jobs. I mean, I think it's only fair. So moving forward, that's probably going to be,
Yeah.
I understand your vote on that.
Yeah, I'm not anti who got the bid.
Right.
Great people. Admire them. You
Right.
work for me, but
So
I
point
just think
taken.
maybe somebody else
Well,
will have a shot at it.
I think that was a situation where you had to act and act now. If you went through the procedure to advertise for bids and all, you are going to be compounding a bad situation. I think that was the logic behind that.
right.
But besides
That's
that,
it.
okay.
And to add to that, anytime we can do business in Marion, we need to.
Well, there's a lot of people.
And I know
that
Fowler
say
is,
work.
but yeah, and we have several other, but,
Yeah. I agree, stay locally if you
yeah.
can, but there's other local people that could
Right,
not
that's right.
took a shot at
Make
it.
sure we get
Okay,
paid for
all right,
our constituents too.
if
If
all
it
lines
means
are
going out
okay,
of town.
Jim?
Nothing
Yeah.
further.
John?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Been long enough, huh?
You want to go in and talk about this?
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion.
Information, so.
Okay. I make
Good
a
or
mo-
bad?
I make a motion to go into executive session for real estate purposes.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
No.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor
Does that mean
Butler?
you're not coming?
Yeah.
And they don't believe in executive session anymore.
Okay, let's go.